Time to do this. Try it again. There you
That
go,
was better. It's the
You should be doing that as the principal boy.
Thanks. I haven't got my pantaloons on. Love it or hate it, annual trip to the pantomime marks the start of the festive season for many of us.
But research is now suggesting the curtain may be falling on many of the long-established features which come to characterise the performances, like the principal boy. We'll chat about this in just a moment. First, here's a look behind the scenes at a production of Mother Goose in Clitheroe.
You're wasted on this programme.
Pantomime is changing.
Oh, no, it's not!
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh, no, it's not!
This year, for example, there are only 2 productions of Puss in Boots and only 1 of Mother Goose, a pantomime which was first performed in the UK more than 200 years ago.
What's your name, love? Dolly?
But here in Clitheroe, Lancashire, they value tradition.
Pantomime was all about moral traditions, but Mother Goose is even more so because it has a good fairy and it has a bad fairy, and the battle is about the good and the bad and who wins out in the end. And I think that's really important for young people and families to actually go to that and be able to cheer and boo.
You haven't? Oh, well,
They also value people playing animals and men playing women, but more productions are choosing not to include these characters.
This is where it belongs.
And if you ask them here, is the traditional panto a thing of the past? There's only one answer.
Oh, no, it's not!
Julie McCulloch, BBC News.
Well, with us now, Millie Taylor, who's a professor of musical theatre at the University of Winchester. Good morning.
Morning.
What a
to
lovely
you.
job to have.
I know.
Do you get to see a lot of panto?
I do. I do see quite a lot of panto, but mostly I see a lot of musical theatre, so the much wider range of musical theatre as well as
Yeah.
panto.
So tell us about traditional panto roles. There I was. Well, there we both were, slapping our knees, trying to be principal boy. Are we losing the girls playing the boys?
We are to a certain extent, yes. It does seem to be a phase that we're going through. We have lost girls playing principal boys in the past. Between the wars, there were quite a number of principal girls playing principal boys. But during the 1950s, what happened was that quite a number of pop stars started to play principal boys, say at the London Palladium, Cliff Richard, Frank Highfield, people like that, Norman Wisdom. And so since the 1950s, 60s, there's been a play between principal boys and girls.
What about the pantomime dame on his way out?
No, I don't think
Still safe?
so. I think the dame's pretty safe.
Okay.
I think the principal boy is in danger but not gone, whereas the dame, I don't think you could move away from the dame.
I should hope not. Someone's hoping to build a second career on it.
Oh, I look forward to that. Yes, only around a tenth of the 251 professional shows listed for the current season have female principal boys, and there are a lot of pantos without dames. I mean, do they count as proper pantos if they're losing these traditional elements?
Well, there is a debate about it. I mean, I think without the principal boy, the thing you lose is the female presence on stage. So you get the fairy and the princess, and there are only role models for girls. Well, that's not very good. In the past, we had a principal boy character playing a boy. The point is, it's a boy, it's not a man. And part of the pantomime story, the quest, is based on a story where what's happening is that there's a quest for adulthood. And so what we're getting instead is a love story. So we're losing that sense of journeying into adulthood and replacing it with a love story and a male presence on the stage, and losing the female journeying and the female
Pantimime's
strength.
coming off. It's very different now to what it was when it first started. Was it in Italy?
Yeah, well, the commedia.
centuries ago.
Yeah, no, pantomime today is based on the 19th century model.
Yeah.
It's
So it's a
very different.
It's an evolving.
Absolutely,
form of theatre,
absolutely. And what's happening is that those the women, the strong women in panto, are now playing villains. So we now have quite strong wicked queens. Some pantos have never had dames in. Peter Pan doesn't have a dame character. So if you want a dame in Peter Pan, you have to create a character for a dame. Because there isn't a natural one in
But
the
that's the
story.
freedom of the panto. You can write in whatever you like, can't you?
Absolutely. And that's part of the excitement of panto, that it transforms all the time in relation to society.
Have you got tickets booked for panto this year?
I haven't yet.
No.
No.
Are you waiting to see what's on?
Well,